Alright, I gotta share a couple stories from this one church that I went to for a few weeks because it just makes my blood boil. It's amazing. So, I was towards the end of my sophomore year in college. At the time, I was still coming home every weekend, and I would take my youngest sister to church, or try to. My parents stopped going to church when I was like 16. Well, my mom stopped going to church when I was 16. My dad had stopped going a long time before that. But at the time, it was still really important to me, and it was really important to me that my youngest sister was still going to church. So I would take her to church with me. And after a while, she started fighting it more and more, and she was like, well, I don't have any friends at this church that you're going to. So I was like, where do you want to go? So she told me a church that she had a couple of friends with. So we started going there. And wasn't a church I'd ever really been to before, I don't think. But I've learned that the best way to integrate into a new church is to make friends with the old women, because they have no inhibitions about talking to someone new. They are delighted. So there were a few old ladies there that I would make sure to say hi to and learn their names every week. And a couple weeks in, we stayed for potluck so that my sister could play with her friends. And I'm sitting across from this old lady that I was like, all right, I've talked to her a few times. I'm just going to sit with her. And she's talking to me, and she's like, so what brought you here? And I told her, I was like, I'm coming here with my little sister because my little sister really wants to go to this church because of friends that are here. So I'm coming here for her. And this lady was so accusatory. She just looks at me and goes, well, why is that your responsibility? And I was like, oh my gosh, woman, like, you don't know my life. Like, you don't know my family. And I think what I'm doing is very noble. Like, what do you mean? Like, how is that your response? So that was one thing that irked me. The second story is even better. Like, I cannot get over this. Apparently, adult Sunday school class is just like a battlefield. So that I'm like sitting in adult Sunday school class, and this guy is teaching, and like, he knows his stuff. It's research. Like, he's doing good. I'm interested. But he kind of looks nervous, and for good reason, because the other adults were just ready to like pounce on any wrong word he said. And so this guy is talking about some scripture character, and this old man raises his hand and asks, well, do you know what priesthood that man was? And the Sunday school teacher is like, not expecting this, not prepared for this. And so he kind of like stumbles through like, well, like, the scriptures make it clear he was priesthood, but it doesn't say which one. So like, no, I don't know. And the guy that asked the question was like, well, it says that he did this and this and this ordination, which means he is this priesthood member. Or no, he says, you can tell what priesthood he is because of like these actions that he did, these ordinances that he did. And so the Sunday school teacher is like, do you know what priesthood he was in? Like, what priesthood office he was in? And the guy that asked the question goes, of course I do. I wouldn't ask the question if I didn't know the answer. I almost died. I felt so bad for this poor Sunday school teacher, and I was like, who is this old man that only asks questions that he knows the answer to? That like completely defeats the point of a question. So that's not even under a specific topic other than absolute shenanigans. So yeah, those are my old people stories from that church.